Well, greetings and salutations, Series 7 test takers. This is the Series 7 Guru coming to you from my studio here in fabulous Las Vegas with another explication request. The best free supplement to your paid study materials is my YouTube channel, but if you don't have a Kaplan Q Bank, I highly recommend it as a paid supplement with my Guru 15% discount code at checkout, Guru15. You can get that for $58.50, over 3,700 practice questions, a performance tracker, lots of performance opportunities for you. For that commercial, Kaplan allows me to give you a free look on Kaplan content. Again, I will help you with any question. It's easier if it's Kaplan because you can send me the QID like this was sent from the test taker 1265636. I would tell you not to overdose on margin questions, 3, 4 max. But I would know the classical margin equation. All right, let's get started on this question. In a new margin account, a customer sells short 8,000 of XYZ at 30 and deposits the required margin. If the stock subsequently falls to $25 per share, the equity in the account is. So what we got to do, typically you do in these margin questions is what I call an initial setup and then a mark to market to ask, find out what the answer to the question is. So the classical short margin equation, which you should know, memorize, is credit register minus short market value. That's what you owe. In a long account, what you owe is money, but in a short account, what you owe are securities. It says you made the required deposit. This is where most test takers get hung up. Where did the $45,000 come from? Well, 30,000 of that came from selling the borrowed stock. And then remember, you had to put Reg T with that. So when you put Reg T with it, that's where that $45,000 came from. You owe securities valued at 30, and so your equity is 15,000. So that's our initial setup, and now we're going to do the mark. It says the stock is now 25. You still have $45,000 in cash in your account, 30 grand from selling the borrowed stock, 15 you put with it. You owe securities now. Good news. If you went in the open market, bought back the borrowed securities, gave it back to the person you borrowed it from, you would have $20,000. Equity always represents what you would have if you close out the position. Nobody's suggesting you do that. But please note, you've made $5,000 by selling high 30 and the stock is going down. So everything's going according to plan. Now it asks you, what is the equity account? Again, we just do the mark. And the answer to the question is there's $20,000 in equity in this account. Now, by the way, we could continue the mark, right, to see if perhaps you don't have excess equity. So we typically compare Reg T, half of the market value, half of 25, which is 12,500. And this account has 7,500 in excess equity. I don't think it would do you any harm to think of excess equity and SMA is one of the same. They're not actually. What I would do as a margin clerk here is make a special memorandum to your accountant on a day you had 7,500 in excess, and you could either have that as cash or you could use it to sell short additional securities. Your shorting or selling power here would be 15 grand. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Remember, inch by inch, margin is a cinch, yard by yard, margin is hard. I think the two biggest recommendations is make sure you know the classical margin equation long market value minus debit equals equity, and the classical margin equation short, which is credit register minus short market value equals equity. I will see you for the next explication request.